Hello and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel and 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Guys, today we're talking about leadership and how being an effective leader can enhance your productivity, but of course the productivity of those who you are leading. So thanks for being here. We have a really interesting and pragmatic show today. So, if you're new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com. See about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. We also have just a series of great workshops and programs that you'll see there on the website. Um, and I should also say a few words about myself. For those of you who are new, most people watch this show on reruns. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, author of animating the Pulitzer Prize nominated now, Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literatures, uh, board president of the World Stage, a great nonprofit here in Los Angeles' Crenshaw District. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad. My master's from UCLA is from UCLA, and my PhD is from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are almost always surprised to hear that level of productivity once they know my crazy story. I am the product of a young woman, young girl, young sister who was sexually assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me as a result of that assault when she turned 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to an extraordinary single divorcee. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet his crew. Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we know many people can be in a similar way in their own lane, of course. So that really inspires this show because we know it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. So thanks for being here. Let's go. So point one is, as we talk about leadership today, you want to ascribe to leadership. You want to have ambition to be a leader, right? Now, the difficulty in this enterprise is that many people who have that aspiration to be leaders um, aspire to do it for reasons that are complicated, and too often the ego aggrandizement piece is too big of a motivating factor. Now, to be honest, I have to say I know lots of leaders. I am a leader. I'm so around lots of leaders, and the desire or the ego aggrandizement piece, that's almost a prerequisite to a certain extent. You have to actually believe that you got something to do in terms of offer, in terms of leadership skills and abilities. You have to think that you should be the leader. So, I mean, it's hard to separate that completely out of the mix, but it's too often, in my experience, I mean, the leaders who I know too often are way too motivated by their ego or kind of just being in charge. I mean, it's really actually disappointing. But I'm reminded of, which really goes into point two, of why you have to counterbalance. So I want to be in charge. I mean, basically, I don't need to be in charge. I just want to help. I think I have good ideas. So I think if I was in charge, I could have more of an impact, you know. But at the same time, I don't mind following because I like to learn. And when you are a good follower, it's great. I've been a great follower. And I've learned a lot from mentors and just being around credible people. I've learned a lot of information about how to lead just by being around great leaders. So I was a great follower, which has helped me to be, frankly, a great leader. So, which is fine. The other piece, though, is we encourage you to have a counterbalance to this idea to think that you know what you're doing, or think that you have something to lead, to offer as a leader. Again, a part of that, it's okay, because that aspiration is what it kind of takes to that confidence, because it oftentimes manifests as confidence. That's okay. But you have to know the dangers of that, be cognizant of the dangers of that attitude. And so you would have a counterbalance. I just call it spiritual practice, right? So, like now I'm reading, so in the mornings, like as you can imagine, the show's at 4:45 a.m. So I'm up hella early getting ready for the show and all this stuff. Um, and so I read a spiritual text each morning as part of this preparation for my day to start, right? So I'm reading now the great Vietnamese monk, Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, who I'm reading his classic book, the first, I guess his first big book, or maybe it was his first book, the the Miracle of Mindfulness. I think that's what the title of the book is called. But it's his first book that talked about mindfulness, defining mindfulness as he defined mindfulness as the being fully alive to the present reality, right? Or I would say the present moment. Same thing, but it's different nomenclature. So anyway, so reading this book, it's such a in other books, having a spiritual practice early in the morning, meditating, running, the things that I do in the morning. I'm not saying do what I do. I'm saying do something. It basically helps you to not allow your ego to run the program because you're doing all this internal spiritual work. You are doing the work out of love or out of service or out of spirit because it takes work to deal with your ego. You have to you got to work on that because for men especially, I mean, if for guys who are like alpha males or dynamic people or charismatic people, because people give you praise and you get accolades when you are a leader, and they can completely go to your head. I mean, easily, which should make which of course should make sense to us, right? As to why that would happen. So you want to have a process, a program to counterbalance the negative aspects that come with being the leader or aspiring to leadership. So we talk about that in terms of spiritual practice or energetic practice, doing something for your humility, all right, which goes right into point three. When you can really, in an earnest way, look at leadership as a kind of service and not just like fake, you know, uh, lip service. As many people do, thanks for your service. I mean, which is such crap, because I mean, so many people who I know, at least, I mean, in different arenas, politics, music, like arts and culture, neighborhood politics, you name it. A lot of the people, man, you can just tell by how they deal with people, how their personal lives are. They're not doing enough work to counterbalance the ego-driven part of the work, and of course, that leads to a lot of problems for people who they're leading and for them in their own lives. So we encourage that you work on your game, work on yourself, do the internal infrastructure building, guys, meditation, yoga, reach out to us. We have a whole series of programs around this stuff because it is so powerful. And right now we need leadership because the person running the country, I mean, we're in dangerous times, guys. I mean, think about what's happening right now. If 45 raises the social distancing guidelines, and he's going to, and try to, defend it by saying, as he does, he'll just be lying because he's concerned about his election in 2020. He's willing to jeopardize not only our country, people's lives, older people initially, at least first, but the whole globe, you know, because people are going to keep coming to America. And if we don't deal with this, they'll keep getting it and going back home. And Donald Trump will be literally the downfall of the globe, which is crazy. Oh my God. So we've got to work on our leadership skills. We've got to get ready. You know how this cat rose. I mean, this should not be obvious. And Republicans are not going to obviously stand up to him because they're concerned about the base rising up against them. I don't want to get too far afield. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm saying what you, of course, have heard or know or think yourselves because it's pretty obvious what's happening, right? And what's going to happen around Easter. That no matter how bad things are, he's going to choose some random date to restart the country. It's going to be bananas, guys. We're going to need people to really step up. So I'm saying all that to say, get ready. Work on your internal infrastructure, build your game, lead people in your neighborhood, lead people in your spheres of influence, and do it because you love them and you love yourself and you love your kids and the future of the globe. All right, that's it. I've preached, I've gone far afield, but I think you know why. Because we need leadership badly, or as they say in the neighborhood, bad as a mug. All right, so we'll see you guys this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. It's the last show of the week because we air each weekday morning and afternoon at 4:45 p.m. So we'll see you, 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Boom, goes the dynamite. I'm out. Deuces.